السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أهلا بكم. أنا عايز أدي introduction بالعربي الأول، لأن الأسبوع اللي فات جالي كمية comments كتيرة جدا إن ليه اللايفز بالإنجليش ومش بالعربي. والحقيقة لكل أي حد هيتفرج عليا لأول مرة أو هيشوف الفيديو لأول مرة، الحلقات دي كلها بالإنجليش ومعمولة بنناقش فيها جزء كبير من إدارة الأعمال والقيادة، وهي كلها الحقيقة باللغة الإنجليزية. إن شاء الله عن قريب هنعمل لايف تاني باللغة العربية، يبقى في يوم تاني مختلف مش يوم السبت. وإن شاء الله ممكن تتابعوني على الصفحة اللي بالعربي اللي هي صفحة هشام المكاوي بالعربي، بحيث ان شاء الله خلال الاسبوعين القادمين او خلال ال3 أسابيع هنبتدي نعمل لايف باللغة العربية. وشكرا جزيلا على اهتمامكم ومتابعتكم، وان شاء الله اشوفكم قريبا باللغة العربية. Good evening everybody, and how was your week? I hope you had a great week. Thank you very much for coming in and all your support last week. You actually you becoming part of my week, and I look forward to Saturday, every Saturday at that time. It's becoming part of what I do every week, and I thank you for making me part of your time as well during the week. It's a great thing to see people, because for me it's like seeing old friends, current friends, family members. It's a great thing to be part of that. And believe it or not, this is our 5th live today. It's been 5 weeks already since we started our first. And I have to tell you, thank you so much for your support last week. The last week live, we had a great views. We had almost 58,000 views from last Saturday to yesterday, almost 58 plus, and that's really great, and it shows that there's a lot of shares and a lot of people start sharing the videos. So thank you for being part of this, and thank you for your support. As we said before, the more you share the videos, the more you share the event, the more people will come in, and great, fantastic comments coming from people. I greatly appreciate that. Every one of you doing and sharing. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Everybody's sharing, and forgive me because I know a lot of you coming and saying hi and good evening. There's too many coming at the same time, and I welcome all of you to the event. The thing last week, it was a little bit strange because I did not receive your usual comments, or usual questions for the events, and I had to, there are some people who actually said and mentioned and sent some questions, but actually these questions we have answered them before. So I had to go back to my old questions that people asked me personally, or I addressed it during some of the events. And I found the first question somebody asked me in the past, it was a good question, but the question says, how do I deal with incompetent boss or incompetent manager? How do I deal with them? Okay, and the way we need to answer this, and the way we need to be very objective answering this question, we have to ask another question. The other question is, who said that this is incompetent manager? So is it you, or this is the organization saying this, or this is all your peers are saying this, or you feeling it when you sit in the room, you have that feeling like, what the heck he's talking about. I'm much smarter than that. You know, it's really that level is below me or beneath me. And this is a common thing where we worked in the past with people that they were maybe incompetent, not qualified for the position. But you need to know something very, very important and very critical in this, which is we choose our team, but we don't choose our bosses. So when you get into a position or you get into a company, you find your boss, or your boss maybe hired you. You don't choose him. So you have two choices here, either to work with him or you don't work with him. And yes, it is true that people leave people, they don't leave companies, and you should choose your boss, not your job. But it's really whoever said you need to choose your boss, not your job. How do you know your boss? How do you know the boss that you're getting into in that company? You don't know. The fact and the matter is, you come to the company and they tell you, let me introduce you to your boss. And that's your boss. Now, working with your boss make you think that, okay, he's good, I can learn from him. He's okay. He's harsh. He's soft. So you start judging first, you start judging the character, not the management style. Okay, let me repeat that. There are two things we usually talk about when we talk about people in leadership positions. There is the character of that person, and there is the management style, okay? When you say he's incompetent and he is not knowledgeable and all of that, that is the character you're judging right now. But when you say his management style, he micromanages people, or he macromanages people. He is a people person. He is, you know, a very detail-oriented. That's the management style. But when you judge the character, that's the incompetency that you are, or the competency that you're looking for. So in order for us to understand that, because you have no choice, you have a boss you have to deal with. Otherwise, you need to leave the job and go somewhere else, right? But let's assume you will stay in the job. We need to define the different types of bosses or managers from a character perspective, okay? First of all, you have to have a common opinion about this individual, that he is competent or incompetent, not just your personal opinion, okay? But at the same time, you don't want to go ask other people, what do you think about this man? Because these people will go and tell your boss that he's asking about you and he's talking about you and talking about you behind your back and all of this. And trust me, it will come to him, okay? Hi, Marwan. Marwan say, I'm eating, so I'm gonna watch this not live. Okay, Marwan. So the idea is you need to get a common opinion about the manager, not just your own. But there are types. So what is the first type? Okay, the first type of manager or boss, he is a competent, knowledgeable, and voluntarily develop his team. He's competent, knowledgeable, and voluntarily develops his team. That type of managers, or a manager, you don't have a problem with. Why? Because he comes to you, he develops you even without you asking. He's always offering his help. He wants to see you grow. So he always gives you the knowledge and what he knows. Whatever he knows, he transfers it to you. Okay? So you don't have a problem with that type of manager. The second type is competent, knowledgeable, and doesn't develop his team, but he's willing to develop his team. Okay? So he's good, competent, has a lot of qualifications, a lot of good traits, knowledgeable, he knows his job very well, but he does not volunteer to develop his team. So how do you deal with that manager? The way you deal with that manager is you ask a lot of questions. When you ask a lot of questions, he will answer and he will work with you to develop you. So that's a given. But he does not volunteer. So he's not as good as the first one, because the first one is a true leader who develops his team and work on his team to get them better or get them promoted or, you know, improve them. So that's a great leader right there. The second one, he has the same qualification, but he doesn't offer it. You have to ask for it, okay? So the more you learn about that is by asking lots of questions, so you learn from him. So that's the second type. I don't think you will have a problem with him because he's willing, but he doesn't volunteer. The third one, this is a tricky one, right? He's competent, he's knowledgeable, but he's not willing to develop his team. He doesn't like to. For whatever reason, security issue, you know, I don't know what to do. I don't want my team to, know what I know, because it's, I don't want anybody to take my position a couple of years from now. So he is knowledgeable and he's competent. He's really good at what he does. But he's not willing. So what do you do with that manager? What you do with that manager is you don't ask, because if you ask, he's not going to give you, or he's not going to answer you. So what do? What do is to observe. To observe his behavior, to observe his character, to observe what he does. And you learn indirectly. You learn indirectly. Okay? Because the way I tell people a lot of time, it is many of us are very good in managing down, managing our team. But we're not as good as managing up. How you manage your boss. Can I manage my boss? Yes. How do I manage my boss? Directly or indirectly? You can manage your boss indirectly if you know what are his soft spots, what are his key things that he knows. Maybe your boss is competent, knowledgeable, but you see him weak in certain thing or not doing certain things. If you go and tell him, by the way, you are not doing 1, 2, 3, 4, he may get offended. He may feel that, who the heck you come and telling me what am I supposed to do? So you find that very sensitive. I'll give you a story. When I joined Americana in 2000 and late 2008 and early 2009, and I found that my boss at that time, he's a great guy, competent, doing a lot of great things. But there is one piece that was not happening in the company as a culture, which is recognition. Recognition was not there. And people remember that, when I first came up with the RGM rally in early 2009 and continued to do it for 7 or 8 straight years while I was there, that was to create that recognition culture in the organization. But my boss at that time, he was not doing it. So how do I get to him to highlight that he probably needs to do more recognition. So what I did is I went to him one day and I told him, I know you like to read. I just read a book called Monday Morning Leadership. And it's a very small book. It's a fantastic book. It's a true story of a gentleman who took over a new job. He doesn't know what to do. He went to his father's friend to ask him, and this gentleman asked him to come every Monday at 8 o'clock in the morning to meet him in his house, and he will give him what to do every week. Then he goes back to his company, exercise and practice what the old man told him, and come back with the feedback the next Monday. But big part of that book talked about recognition. I gave it to my manager at that time, and I said, I think it's a great book. I think you'll like it. It's a very small, you can read it in an hour, hour and a half. It's not a big book. And he said, thank you very much. Yes, I would love it. Believe it or not, I gave it to him, let's say today. Tomorrow, he came and told me, you know, I started the book, but I couldn't stop to the point that I finished it all last night. And there is one thing I really not doing enough of, which is recognition. And I was amazed. Okay, the whole point is I wanted to develop or to give him that message that he probably needs to do more recognition, but I don't want to tell him directly, because I just joined the company, and he's gonna say, who the heck are you to come and tell me what to do? The other funny part, that he ordered a copy of the book to every single person in the organization and gave them that copy the week when he receives it, when we ordered it. A couple of weeks, he gave every single department head and assistant department head a copy of the book. The good thing, in that week, after I gave him the book, we had a meeting, a business meeting, and I remember we had a meeting where myself and the head of KFC and an area manager of KFC, I believe was Hatem Radi. I'm not sure Hatem Radi where now. I heard he's in Africa, somewhere in Sudan. I think he's running a business so our team is all over, even in Africa and Sudan, they're running business there. So all the best to Hatem. But I think Hatem was the one presenting something in that business meeting, and at the end of that meeting, my boss actually wrote something on a piece of paper and gave it to Hatem, and he said, I'm gonna do this more often. I think you did a great job, and this is piece of recognition. So this is how you manage up. This is how you actually manage your boss, even though you have your differences and you have your own opinion about that. So the competent, knowledgeable, but not willing, you don't ask, but you observe and learn from observing. Now here is the fourth type, which is the question was about. Not competent, not knowledgeable, and he doesn't, obviously, because you cannot give something that you don't have, right? So he doesn't develop his team because he's not competent and he's not knowledgeable. So how did he get to that position? He worked a lot. He been maybe 20 years in the company, seniority worked its way up, and he got the position. Okay. Now you feel you are a newcomer, you have a lot of ideas, you are knowledgeable. Every time you sit with him in a meeting, say, who the heck is this guy? I can't believe that we cannot get something out of this meeting every time. Okay. Now you have two choices: either to continue with him or to leave, because when you leave him, you will leave the company. Or you can ask for a transfer somewhere else. But you need to understand that's probably is not going to happen if you are to specialize in certain things and there is no other department to go to, right? So what do you do with that manager? What you do with that manager is You need to do your best 100% and 110 and 115%. Even if he gets the credit, yes, even if he gets the credit. Even if he doesn't appreciate it, yes, even if he doesn't appreciate it. Why? Because he is not the only one in the organization. There are too many people in the organization have eyes and ears. They are watching what you're doing on a daily basis. They are actually observing you. You know, nobody stays in positions for a long time. People move. When the opportunity comes and the timing is right and your capability is right there, maybe you are the next person to take that position. And you know, you learn from him the things that you will never do when you get to his position. You learn, oh, I don't like that. So you know what? When you get to his position, don't do that because you didn't like it back then. So you work on yourself, you do your job 150%. If you don't get credit, it doesn't matter because you're developing yourself. And you do not go into argument and disagreement all the time. It's a loss. It's a loss. You are not gaining anything, and the company is not gaining anything. You can voice your opinion. You can say what I believe is, and you leave it right there. As long as you voice your opinion, he takes it, that's fantastic. And he gets the credit, that's fine. He doesn't take it, at least you said what you think is right. And go back to my first live when I said, how long should you stay in one position these days? So if you find yourself that this gentleman or this lady is continuing for the next 10 years and there is no way that you're gonna get promoted or move up, you know, maybe that's time for you to move on. So no argument, no too much disagreement. He is still the boss, and you need to work with him, not against him. Even if he gets the credit or you get the credit, it doesn't really matter. People in the organization, they have eyes and ears, and when the time comes, you either continue or you go or you move up or you ship out. So it's your choice. But that's how you deal with incompetent manager. Never doubt yourself at any given time that, you know, I am in the wrong position, because put your 150, put your 200%, regardless who is your boss. You work to satisfy the company, but you also work to satisfy yourself and your goals and your success and all of that stuff. Tell you another story. When I was an area manager in the States, I was leading about 15 restaurants. And my 15 restaurants were the highest sales restaurants in the country. In the country, not in New York where I was based. In the entire 50 states, the average sales per restaurant were my restaurants. So I was doing a nice job, a great job, and we had a year where we broke every single record for the company. Sales growth, profit growth, turnover, people turnover, we were the lowest. Every single target, you name it. And everybody, when we went to the annual party for recognition, everybody expected that I will be getting, I expected myself, I put the very nice suit on and I went because I know I'm gonna take a picture today receiving the award of the best area manager of the year. And when the time came to announce the best area manager of the year, there was another gentleman who came in the middle of the year, in June, and he took over. Another area was in a breakdown situation. Now, I want to tell you that my area was the largest number of restaurants. I've been in the area for about 3 years. I've been growing myself over my numbers year over year. And that was the year when you say, you know what, I should get the award this year. And I didn't get it. They gave it to the gentleman who came in mid-year, only 6 months, and he took a breakdown area that, just putting some efforts in it, he looked like a hero. And I said, this is called Best Area Manager of the Year, not half year. I was very upset. My team was very upset, to the point that I made a decision, after a couple of days, should I continue or should not I continue for this company? When you don't feel appreciated, when you don't feel that they are not giving you what you deserve, because the number one reason people leave companies, believe it or not money is number 5 on the list. Money, people leave companies as number 5 reason is money. The number one reason people leave company is not being appreciated. And I said, I think I need to move on. And then after 2 days, I cooled down. I started thinking. I said, I came a long way. I've been in the company for a long time. I did a lot of things. Okay, I'm well known, not just in the company, but I'm well known in the entire country, in the entire states, because I run the highest volume area in the country. So people know me. I said, I'm not gonna waste that. Just because my boss did not appreciate me, I am not just gonna leave. I'm gonna put 200%. And you know what? Because there are other people who are watching. The CEO was watching. The vice president was watching. And 2 years after that, I got promoted and I became a regional director. If I just left back then, I lost everything. But these are the things that when you deal with incompetent or a boss who does not appreciate you, or a boss that he does not develop you, there's a lot of learning here that you can get from that man or that lady. Even they are who they are. So that was the first question of the day. The second question, talk about a business a little bit. And this common question, it's about strategy. And strategy is a very close topic to my heart. I teach it. I have a workshop, 1 or 2 or 3 days workshop for just strategy. I developed my own model for strategy and how people can understand strategy. I think people watching me, my previous team, they understand which module I'm talking about, how to simplify strategy for people. So whatever I'm going to give you the next 10, 15 minutes, because I want to have time to talk about really a great law of growth today, which is the law of mirror. This is the law number 3. When we talk about strategy, the question is how to create a proper strategy for the business, and is it okay to change the strategy if it's not working? And how often should the strategy be changed? So there's actually about 3 questions in one. How you create a proper strategy, how often you change the strategy, can you change the strategy if it's not working? Now I want to tell you one thing I think that the pandemic and Corona brought to us today. I was speaking yesterday to a good friend of mine, Marwan Abdurazik, from Egypt. He has a great business in Egypt, and he does a lot of events. in Egypt, and he has his own big event called Business in Egypt that he does every year. I was supposed to be a speaker last year, but things happened and I couldn't get to the event. We were talking yesterday about next big event coming that he will organize in Egypt, and either it's going to be virtually or it's going to be in person and virtually together, and inshallah we will collaborate together to make it happen in Egypt in the next probably couple of months. And the topic we talked about yesterday, one of the topics is, can we do something on crisis management? And I said, of course. I have a course that I do teach on crisis management. But crisis management that we usually talked about, or we usually know, is crisis management for a month or 2 or 3 months. Nobody, no company had a strategy, or they had a plan B or C for the business to be in crisis for 1 full year. No one in the entire world. All big organizations, Microsoft didn't have that. Google didn't have that. Crisis management that we teach or we talk about usually a month or 2 until you get out of crisis, right? So 2008 recession and financial crisis year, okay, lasted few months, and then people start breathing again, right? Stock markets start coming back again. But Corona has been almost 10 months and it's going to go on a year until next March. Nobody has a strategy in place to overcome that. So when you say strategy, the strategy has to serve the purpose. Strategy has to serve the purpose, not the other way around. What does that mean in business? You have to have the end in mind. What do I want to achieve 3 to 5 years from now? 3 to 5 years from now, I want this company, I want my department, I want my business, I want my restaurant, I want whatever you are running or you own. I want 3 to 5 years from now. Now, back then, strategy used to be anything between 7 to 10 years. Nowadays, from 3 to 5 years. Most companies now, they do strategies for 3 years. The maximum they can go is 5. What do you have the end in mind? What's your vision? So a lot of people get confused. Vision, mission, values, strategies, tactics, short-term, long-term. It's simple. Let's talk about it in a very simple way. And the way I do my module is visualize it, okay? And I simplify it for you so you really understand what is strategy and what are the tactics and what are the goals, okay? I'm gonna give you an example. Any of you want to travel somewhere, okay? You wanna go do Umrah. Inshallah, all of us go do Umrah. You want to go do Umrah. Where is Umrah? Mecca, right? You need to go to Mecca in Saudi Arabia. Let's say you are in Egypt today, or you are in Canada, or you are in Dubai, and you want to go to do Umrah or to go to Mecca. So Mecca is the final destination for you. That's your vision. What you want to, and here is your point A. Today, I'm here. In certain amount of time, I want to be there. I want to be in Mecca. Or I want to go my destination. Your destination is your vision. Clear? So the vision is your last goal. So are you telling me there are goals before that? Yes, there are goals before that. To reach your destination, there are things you need to do to get to your destination. So the vision is your final destination. What do you want to be 3 years from now, 5 years from now? Okay. How am I going to go to Mecca? By what? By plane? That's one. By sea, taking a ship? That's two. By land, take a bus, that could be, or your car, or you drive, that's three. These ways of reaching your destination from point A to point B, these are the strategies. These are the strategies. Either I go by bus, or I go by plane, or I go by sea, or I go by land. These are the strategies. Pick one. If I go by plane, the advantage of this strategy, I will go very fast. I can go in the morning, do Umrah, come back at night. Done. So it's much shorter time. If I go by bus or land, it may take me a good 4 or 5 days. If I go by sea, it may take me a week. If I go walking, which I don't think you will do, it will take you a year. So these are the strategies. Okay, so Hisham, you mentioned the vision and you mentioned the ways to go, which is the strategies. So what about mission? We keep a lot of people saying mission, 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 mission. Mission comes after you decide your vision, not the other way around. So the mission should serve the vision, not the vision serves the mission. So what's mission? Mission is who you are. If I look from far, I know that's you. So if you decided to go by car to Mecca, what kind of car? Are you driving a Toyota? Are you driving a Range Rover? Are you driving a Nissan? Which car? That type of car is your mission. It defines who you are, what you do on a daily basis. If I look from far inside that Range Rover, I know that Range Rover is Hisham's car. So it defines who I am as a business. It defines who I am as the type of business that I do. And that's why vision sometimes is very short, but mission is very long. You know, I have to describe, I will be driving a Range Rover, you know, at the time of whatever, and it's a 8-cylinder, so you have to describe. But what's your vision? Do Umrah in Mecca. That's my vision. Finish. What's my vision as a company? I want to reach $30 million sales by year 2024. Done. That's vision. It's your final destination, your final goal. Okay, so I decided to go by car. I have my vision. So I decided my strategy. Strategy A is to go by car. What about strategy B? Strategy B, if my car, something happened to it, on the road, what am I supposed to do? I have to have a strategy B to actually go to my final destination, which I can stop and maybe take a plane. Okay, so that would be a strategy B. And a strategy C, I maybe take a bus, I stay on the road and somebody comes and pick me up and I go. So my main strategy, which I will focus on, is A, going by car. And I decided my mission, I will be going inside a Range Rover. So far, so good. So I decided the vision, the strategy, and the mission. Okay? Are you gonna go straight, boom, from point A to Mecca, or you're gonna stop in between? You're gonna stop in between. When you stop in between, we call these goals. So you reach from here, let's say I'm in Dubai. You reach from Dubai to Abu Dhabi. That's goal number 1. You reach from Abu Dhabi to, let me remember, Al Ghuwaifat, which on the road to Saudi Arabia. That's goal number 2. Goal number 2. I reach after that, whatever city after that. That's goal number 3. Okay. So, and what is my final goal and final destination? It's Mecca. So, is the vision part of the goals? Yes. You can call it the final goal. But on the road, while you're executing the strategy, you have goals. And some of these goals we call milestones. It's a big achievement, even if I did not really yet achieve my final goal. So when I go to Al Ghuwaifat, for example, boom, I'm almost on the border of Saudi Arabia. That's a milestone. So milestone is big goal. Not final, but big goal. Okay. So when you go from which route are you going to take? What's my GPS? I need a GPS while I'm executing my strategy. What is my GPS? My GPS is your values. GPS is your values. That's another thing we hear when we talk about strategy, mission, vision, values, all of that. Values, your GPS tells you, go this road, don't go that road. Do this, don't do that. This is wrong, this is right. Your values serve as your GPS. Okay, Hisham, you explained a lot of things now. We have one thing left that we always hear about. What are tactics? Tactics is what we call short-term goals. When you go from point A to point B, and from point B to point C, and from point C to your final destination, in each one of those distances, these we call tactics. What tactics are you using to go from point A to point B? Okay? If you want to go fast. So tactics are short-term strategy that you can do it right now. We hear marketing people a lot. I saw Amir on the call, and my sister is here saying "Ahlan ahlan bik ya haq." We hear a lot of people saying the tactic. It's, you can call it a short-term strategy. Marketing people use this a lot. You find them saying, are you going to strategic marketing or tactical marketing? Right? Amir is on the call. Amir can correct me if I'm saying it right. So are you going to strategic tactics, strategic marketing, meaning you doing a positioning, you doing long-term strategy, you positioning it, or you need money now, so you coming up with a short campaign for 2-3 months, tactical campaign, either on values or new product, or just to grab some money very quickly. So tactics are short-term strategies. Strategy, when we say it, usually is the 3 to 5 years. Okay? So, who creates the strategy? Top management creates the strategy of the company. Who creates the tactics, which is the short ones? Who create the vision first? Create the vision first, that usually the owners of the companies or top management. Who creates the tactics, which is short-term strategies? Usually the top management with the executive team. Who execute the strategies? Middle managers and entry-level managers. Clear? So top management, vision and strategies, tactics, middle management, executives with sometime top management, and execution usually middle management and below. This is why when I talk about area managers and operations managers and people in the middle management position, these are the backbone of the company. Why? And the entry-level managers. Because you can have the greatest strategy, but your execution is bad. Who executes? Middle managers, entry-level managers, and supportive department. If your execution is bad, it doesn't matter how great your strategy is. This is why my good friend Ahmed Osman, he always talk about execution, and he has his award is the execution award, because execution is extremely important. It is extremely important for the strategy to be achieved, or the goals to be achieved, and the strategy to work. Without execution, you lose everything. And I have a say that I always say: give me a great area manager, I give you a great company. Absolutely true. Not give me a great CEO, not give me a great director. Give me a great area manager, because this is the one who gets things done and make things happen. Okay? How often you should change your strategy? Every 3 to 5 years. If the strategy doesn't work, then you should have the backup plan. Strategy B and strategy C. This is a long, I have 15 minutes, and I want to talk about the law number 3, which is the law of mirror. But this is a big, deep topic that I usually take a full day or 2 days to talk about as strategy. So, inshallah, we will try to, if we have another time or another chance to do that and talk a little bit more about strategy. Maybe we'll include that with the topic with Marwan in Egypt. We can actually include that in the event as well, where we can have part of the event talking about strategy and specifically crisis management, which is part, it goes under actually strategy in general. Okay. Here's the part where I like always to end with, which is, let's talk about law number 3, which is the law of mirror. What is the law of mirror? It's a mirror. You look at yourself in the mirror, and you must see value in yourself and add value to yourself. To yourself, yes. You must see value in yourself. A look in the mirror, the power of positive self-esteem. The power of positive self-esteem. When you look at the mirror, what do you see? Do you feel good about yourself? Do you say, what a great guy I am? Or you say, not the physical. I'm not talking about the physical. Okay? I'm talking about every time you look at the mirror, you said, I feel good about myself. I think I can add value to people. If you lose the self-esteem, the positive self-esteem, what's going to happen? It's going to reflect on your behavior significantly. Self-esteem is the single most significant key to person's behavior. If I feel good about myself, I'm going to look good. I'm going to say good things. I'm going to be positive. I'm going to reflect that on my team. I'm going to do a good job. I'm going to have a great family life. Okay? I'm going to have a great social life. I know I can add value to people, but are you adding value to yourself? Do you feel that value in yourself first? And this is the law of mirror. if you don't reflect. Law number 4, which we inshallah will talk about next week, it's the reflection law. Reflection. You stop and you reflect what happened. You don't go on a fast track just running all the time. And you don't stop for a moment, say, what have I done? Did I do something good? What do I need to improve? This is the reflection. But in order for you to do the reflection, you need to look at yourself in the mirror first. The low self-esteem puts a ceiling on your potential. If you feel bad about yourself every single day, you're putting a ceiling up, you will never grow. High self-esteem will allow you to grow. Low self-esteem will put you down and it will take you nowhere. You will never grow. The value we place on ourselves is usually the value others place on us. See that? Please listen carefully to this. I will say it one more time. The value we place on ourselves is usually the value others place on us. If I see myself low, people will value me low. If I see myself high, people will value me high. I love that saying. That saying said, if you place a small value on yourself, rest assured the world will not raise the price. It's a fantastic quote. If you say this is my price low, the world is not going to increase your price. So self-esteem and feeling good about yourself, and even if you know you're going to improve in certain things, and we all are, nobody's perfect, nobody is complete. We need to improve every single day. Hussam is joining today, Al-Ut from Canada. Hussam, it's good to have you live this time. I know you've been seeing the videos, but it's great to have you live this time. I know Canada probably have 12 inches of snow right now, but yeah, I'm going to that next week. I'll see. So the value we place on ourselves is usually the value others place on us. See yourself good. See yourself big, without arrogance, without having an ego. You know, I'm not telling you to go tell people, hey, you know, I'm great. Look at me. Huh? What a great boss I am. Huh? What a great manager I am. Wow, did you see what a great job I did? We are not talking about bragging about you as a person, but the reflection. And usually people feel good about themselves. They are the quieter people in the room, right? You find them very quiet because they are secure in their own skin. They feel good about themselves. They don't feel like fighting with others. You know, talking about that incompetent manager that we talked about in the beginning of the live today, and you're sitting, you feel good about yourself. Oh man, I can make a good manager when I be in that position. Look at this guy, what he's saying. Okay? But you don't talk, you just quiet and smile. You have a smile on your face. This is a good self-esteem that raise your price and raise your value. And people, when you see your value here, they will give you the same value. So what is the steps to build your self-image? Number 1, guard your self-talk. What is self-talk? Talk to yourself. I'm pretty. You look at the mirror and say, I'm pretty. Not in the sense of pretty that you are pretty. No, the sense you look at yourself, I'm good. I'm satisfied with myself. I'm satisfied with what I have accomplished so far. I'm satisfied with the way I came a long way. You know, that's important. 2, what we say about ourselves, we tend to believe. What we believe, we tend to act. What we act, we tend to become. Fantastic. John Maxwell said it absolutely fantastic. I love this one. What we say about ourselves, we tend to believe. What we believe, we tend to act. And what we act, we tend to become. So if you're feeling good about yourself, what you're gonna be saying? Positive things. And when you act and you say positive things, you start acting positively. And when you acting positively, you go somewhere. You find yourself growing. No world record was ever set by someone who said, I cannot do this. The world record in running and marathons and all of these people, when they started that race, they said one thing and one thing only. They said, we can do this. Stop comparing yourself to others. Okay? How you raise your self-esteem. Stop comparing yourselves to others. Don't look at your peers and say, oh, look at him, he's really much better than me. His English is much better than me. He got a promotion, I didn't get a promotion. He got a raise, I didn't get a raise. You know what? That's good. When look at them, try to be better than them, but don't compare yourself with them. Don't say why he is and I am here. What? Because this is not, look at the positive side of who you are. Look at the great things that you can do that that person cannot do. And then you only then will realize that I am better than him in many other ways. This is how you raise your self-esteem. If you keep comparing yourself to others, you will be so busy to focus on yourself and how to improve yourself. Making comparison is amazingly powerful attraction that is really just an unneeded distraction to your own potential. I just said that. It's just gonna distract you to reach your own potential and work on yourself. Move beyond your own self-limiting beliefs. Charles Schwab, you know Charles Schwab, the big finance guy. He said, when a man puts a limit on what he will do, he places a limit on what he can do. If I just say, I cannot do this, trust me, you're not going to do it, even if you can. My main issue with managers sometimes, when I set a goal or we set a goal and you find what I call remember the draggers? These are the draggers, right? Where you say, oh, we cannot do this. Oh, this is difficult to do. I don't know what, I don't know if we have the capability to do this. We don't have the team. We don't have the resources. We don't have this. You have people just drag you down. That's why you need to get rid of them fast. Find people that can actually push you positively. So whatever you say, if you say I cannot do it, you will not do it. But if you say I can do it, you probably will. When you add value to yourself, as I said before, you add value to others. Do the right thing, even if it's the hard thing to do. Remember my saying, people work with me all the time. I say, this is a saying that it's my constitution in life. I don't care what it is. Do the right thing because that's the right thing to do, regardless. In difficult time, in good time, with all the temptation, with maybe this is an easier way, maybe this is a shortcut, do the right thing. We teach our kids not to lie regardless. Even lying gonna put them in trouble. We tell them don't lie, because lying will just keep digging the hole deeper, and you will be in a deeper trouble, trouble. So do the right thing, even it's the hard thing. Celebrate the small victories. When you do something good, take yourself to dinner. Take yourself to a nice treat. Maybe if you're married, take your wife and kids too. And take your team that works with you. Small victories. Celebrate small victories. It doesn't have to be achieve the vision. No. When you achieve goal 1 in your strategy and you achieve the tactic that you want, that's a small victory. Celebrate it. It makes you feel good. It makes your team feel good. We are at the middle of pandemics where business is just struggling big time. You need to find ways to recognize people in that time doing something right, doing something good. And practice the one-word strategy. What is the one-word strategy? One-word strategy, if I tell you describe your life, describe you in one word. Can you do that? One word, not two, one. If you are able to describe yourself in one word, and you write it down, and you put it in front of you all the time, maybe somebody will tell me, I'm honest. Honest. Write honest and put it on the wall. Okay? Write that. People will love to see themselves, honest all the time. Many people, they want to be honest, but they can't. Because of the corruption in the workplace, and lying in relationship, and all the people lie all the time. And people, when they are under pressure, they lie. They lie. But if you are honest all the time, people will respect that. Describe yourself in one word. That makes you feel good about yourself every single day. And that will take me to the last point, which is take responsibility for your life. Nobody else will care about you except you. Aside from the parents, aside from your mother and from your father. Even your brother and sister, they are not going to care about you better than you care about yourself. Your boss is not going to care about you more than you care about yourself. Your colleague, your peer, he's not going to care about you more than you care about yourself. Feel good about yourself. Celebrate small victories. Take responsibilities of your life. This is the law of mirror. I took 2 more minutes over my time. I thank you all. Greatly appreciate your presence. I appreciate you sharing this video forward right now or after. It has been a great pleasure being with you every week. Inshallah, I ask God to give me the strength and the health and the time to continue to do this. Inshallah, next week I will be doing it from the other side of the world, from the US, but it will be 12 o'clock my time, but still will be 9 o'clock your time here, inshallah. Thank you very much. God bless you all. And next week, the topic, please send me your questions, because these questions generate the topics for next week. Send me whatever questions that we did not answer or something that is bothering you and you need us to talk about it. And on the second half, as usual, we'll talk about the law number 4, which is the law of reflection. Thank you very much. God bless you, and see you inshallah next week. Take care.